Fighters, 8 minutes remaining. All right, Alicia's mango tart is in the oven. She is bringing an unbelievable variety of flavors with the condiments. She's got a coconut rum whipped cream, she's got a pistachio butter, and a guava blood orange glaze. And it is really reflective of Alicia's island roots.
Food Fighters is a culinary competition that recently premiered on NBC TV. And if you were tuned in, which you should have, you would have seen a former Guam resident, Elisha Joyce, shine doing what she does best, cooking. Now of Oregon, Elisha, who is the daughter of Benny Crawford, is one of 8 home cooks who will face off against 5 professional chefs. Host for the show is Adam Richman, who is of Man vs. Food fame.
I think people are gonna love a show like Food Fighters because right now, in the world, we have a much more educated eater, a much more interested cook. People are loving food shows. People are loving culinary exploration. Well, this show is really about the best of all of it. It's about how we can take inspiration from our families, the world around us, the places we travel, put it into our pots, into our pans, feed it to our family and friends. And it's a chance to prove that whether or not you've had formal culinary training, you have every bit as much merit, every bit as much talent, and you have every bit as much right to get rich doing it.
Elisha is digging deep into her roots and breaking out the big culinary guns in a competition which thousands of hopefuls applied for.
Now this is dough that you've made from scratch right here in our kitchen.
Made the dough from scratch, yep.
Sounds delicious, and let's hope this isn't the only dough that you get from this showdown.
Oh, me too.
The contestants for Food Fighters were chosen in casting searches all over the nation. We sent out a major casting call asking people to bring their best recipes to food camps, to basically food auditions. And we have seen recipes from north, south, east, and west, and absolutely some of the best around are competing right here.
With each savored victory, the cash prize gets bigger and bigger as the home cooks rise to every challenge and outcook the professional chefs.
The winners of every showdown on Food Fighters are determined by a group of 5 everyday Americans that we call the dinner party. The dinner party aren't restaurant professionals or food critics. They're just 5 everyday Americans that have nothing more in common than their love of food. They try both dishes in a blind taste test, they review them, they cast their votes, and the majority wins.
And what is interesting is seeing these professional chefs take on a recipe and dish that they just find out about. According to Richman, home cooks can use this to their advantage.
Assuming our brave home cook chooses the right recipe, plays their strategy right, picks a recipe that plays to a professional chef's weakness, well, then you get some pretty good and pretty bad results.
Richman says, stepping into the host's shoes, he hopes that the show inspires future cooks.
I kind of want to be Mickey to our Food Fighters Rocky. Keep them calm, keep them focused, and keep them remembering that these are the recipes that got them here ahead of thousands of other really talented home cooks. These are the recipes that have been passed down in their families from generation to generation, and cooking it in front of a national audience can be a little nerve-wracking, especially against some of the most marquee restaurant talents in the country. Also, I want to keep it entertaining. I want people to gain food knowledge and maybe even be inspired to become great home cooks themselves.
Root for our local girl on Food Fighters, airing every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on NBC TV8. And don't forget to check out Elisha Joyce on her cooking blog at rebelgrain.com.
I just made a gorgeous mango tart, girl.
Oh my God.